Hey guys, Leah here from Unbox, and this is the OnePlus 7 Pro. Now the brand is known as the flagship killer because they offer, well, flagship specs for a more affordable price. So totoo pa ba yan for this particular device? Let's find out. Before we start, here's a quick reminder to subscribe to our channel. Marami kaming giveaways na i-announce in the next couple of days and promise you wouldn't want to miss out on it. So yeah, subscribe to our channel. With that out of the way, let's talk about the OnePlus 7 Pro. So our unit has 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. So ito yung base variant and it's priced at 38,990 pesos. So we can only expect the other variants to be more expensive than this one. So with that in mind, let's try to answer these three questions. First, can this still be considered as a flagship killer? Second, ano yung difference nito from the OnePlus 6T? And third, ano yung mga downsides ng device? So hopefully this video will help you decide whether or not to get this phone if you're planning on it. So for the first question, is the OnePlus 7 Pro still a flagship killer? Well, our answer is both a yes and no. I know it sounds weird, but hear me out here. Yes, because if you compare the processing package to, let's say, the flagships of Samsung, of the iPhone, or even Huawei, it's still more affordable. However, if we consider na meron na ngayong Pocophone F1, meron ng K20, and these are really powerful devices, then I guess we can say na marami na ngayong contenders for the flagship killer title. On to the second question, ano yung difference nito from the OnePlus 6T? Well, let's start with my favorite thing about this device. It's the display. Guys, I cannot emphasize how much I love this display. I mean, I've always been honest na fangirl ako ng Samsung when it comes to that. Pero this is the best display I've ever seen in a smartphone. And that says a lot because I've held a lot of flagships. I mean, it's at 6.67 inches. It's a QHD Plus AMOLED display. But what makes a difference is the refresh rate of 90 Hz. So it's very fluid when you navigate through the phone. The colors, the picture quality, they're just wow. I'm running out of adjectives, but they're just really wow. So I think it's the first time na may 90 Hz na display for a smartphone, and OnePlus did it. You should also know na meron siyang in-display fingerprint scanner, which was pretty fast and accurate when we tried it out. Meron din siyang face recognition, but we still recommend using your fingerprint scanner just because it's safer. For the most part, it's safer. And for the gamers out there, you guys should also know that sadly, not all games can support yung 90 Hz ng phone na to. The second thing that changed is that the OnePlus 7 Pro now has curves. So it makes it easier to hold. Guys, take note, I said easier, not easy, because it is a big phone and it's kind of heavy. So for someone like me, it's impossible to use it with one hand. And I must say, the thing with these curved displays is it tends to make the phone more fragile. So wag naman mabagsak siya and you hit it at an angle, mas prone siya mabasag. But I have to admit, it does make it look really, really good. The third new thing about this phone is it has a triple rear camera setup. So the main one is at 48 megapixels with an aperture of f1.6, may 16 megapixels na wide-angle lens with an aperture of f2.2, and an 8 megapixel telephoto lens. Now for the selfie camera, you may have guessed it already, it has a pop-up module, so it says 16 megapixels with an aperture of f2.0. Now we've been very vocal about this even before na may concern kami with pop-up cameras na parang usong-uso na ngayon. We're just worried that with more moving parts, mas susceptible siya to break down. Although OnePlus did add O-rings, so it's dust resistant, and meron siyang sensor, so when the phone detects na nahuhulog siya, the pop-up camera will automatically retract. So that's always a good thing. Check out some of our sample shots. Generally, the cameras perform well with proper lighting. The rear cameras take in a lot of detail because of the megapixel count. Although medyo blown out yung highlights, it does have nightscape, which is always a good thing. And as for the wide-angle camera, it's great that it's there, although you can clearly see the difference between the photo quality ng main camera and the wide-angle one. I mean, it's not as sharp, the exposure is hit or miss. It can be a bit off. So, what do you guys think of the photos? The fourth thing is the processor. Now, a flagship wouldn't be a flagship without the latest chipset, and this one runs on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 with either 6, 8, or 12 gigabytes of RAM and 128 or 256 gigs of UFS 3.0 storage, so you can expect faster transfer speeds. Now, that along with a 90Hz display, guys, this phone is very, very fast. I actually think that this is the fastest phone I've ever used. So yeah, that's a really cool thing. Now, this one runs on Android 9 Pie with Oxygen 9.5, which is a pretty good UI. Now for the last question that we want to answer, what are the features that we wish were on the OnePlus 7 Pro? Well, to begin with, I wish it had an IP rating. I mean, I've seen videos of it being dunked in water and buhay pa rin siya after, gumagana pa rin. So obviously, may water resistance siya. And I guess they didn't want to pay for the certification kasi it'll mean money and that'll mean na magmamahal yung telepono and they're trying to avoid that. Naintindihan ko yon, but still, I can't help but wish na meron because it'll give me peace of mind. You know that I can bring my phone to the next beach trip or the next pool party and it's IP certified. The second thing is, I wish it had a wireless charging feature. So this phone has a 4000 mAh battery, and while it's big, we did notice that it drains fast, so it's a good thing that it has a fast charging feature, a 30-watt warp charge technology, I believe that's what they call it. And yeah, it's impressively fast, although you do have to deal with wires, and I know it's such a first world problem, but it would have been way more awesome if it had a wireless charging feature. The third thing is, I wish the cameras performed a little better. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're decent shooters, but syempre I can't help but compare them to the photos taken with the S10 or the P30 Pro, and you can see the difference. So again, the cameras are okay, I just wish they're a little better. Last is, it has no 3.5mm jack. So if you forgot your Bluetooth earphones, it does have stereo speakers so you can, appreciate your games and your videos better. Now we're almost done, but let me quickly run through what's in the box so you guys have an idea. It comes with the usual stuff, the warp charger, cable, documents, SIM ejector tool, and this jelly case made specially for this phone kasi may provision siya for the pop-up module. Now, our unit came in mirror gray, which is fine, but the color of my choice is Nebula Blue. Before we end this video, we want to say thanks to our friends from Digital Walker for lending us the review unit. This is not a sponsored video, but if you're thinking about buying a OnePlus 7 Pro, then go visit your nearest Digital Walker store or Lazada. We will leave a link in the description below so you can easily find it. And that's it, guys. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. My name is Leia. Bye!